Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276. We begin from the education sector, where the federal government has dismissed claims that Nigerian scholarship students in Morocco have been abandoned, describing the report as misleading and deliberately to misinform the public. Earlier reports suggested that Nigerian students studying in Morocco under the federal government scholarship scheme were facing hardship, including homelessness and lack of medical support, prompting widespread concern on social media. The Director of Press and Public Relations at the Federal Ministry of Education, Boriowo Folashade, in a statement, said the narrative circulating in some quarters were false, unfounded, and deliberately crafted to misinform the public. In the meantime, prominent Niger Delta leader and traditional ruler Asari Dokubo has pledged his support for President Bola Tinubu's re-election ahead of the 2027 general election. Dokubo made the declaration during a visit by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to his palace in Degima, Rivers State. Our correspondent, Ubong Usoro, completes the story.
Minister Nyesom Wike, who had been on a thank you tour across local government areas in Rivers State, explained that the visit was also aimed at mobilizing support for President Tinubu's second-term ambition and reconnecting with a long-time associate.
So I
in an emotional address, Asari Dokubo thanked President Tinubu for standing by him during a difficult period of his life, describing the gesture as one he would never forget. He said the time has come to return the favor by supporting the president's bid for a second term in office.
We are very grateful for this visit and we cherish it. Like he said, my friend, everything that is going to happen, I'll be with you in making sure that my friend.
Dokubo's endorsement reflects growing political alignment among traditional rulers and key stakeholders as consultations and mobilization intensify ahead of the 2027 general elections. Ubong Usoro, Global Television News.
Justice Emeka Nweti of the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami and his wife and son bail of 500 million naira each, with strict conditions including the submission of landed property documents and traveling papers. Justice Nweti admitted that the defendants to bail following their arraignment on a 16-count charge filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. In his ruling, the judge ordered that each defendant must produce 2 sureties in like sum. The sureties must own landed properties within Maitama, Asokoro, or Gwarempa district of Abuja. Now, the killing of a nurse at the Federal Medical Center, Abuja, while returning home from night duty has sparked widespread outrage and renewed concerns over the safety of female workers amidst Nigeria's worsening insecurity. Many Nigerians are now questioning the responsibility of employers and government in protecting women who work late hours. Our correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
The death of Nurse Chinemerem Pascalina Chukwumezirim, a staff nurse at the Federal Medical Center, Abuja, has once again brought Nigeria's insecurity into sharp focus. She was reportedly killed on January 3, 2026, while returning home after closing from work late at night, a tragedy that has left colleagues, family members, and the public in shock. Across Abuja and other major cities,
it is never a death sentence because they are providing essential services. If they are not there, patients will die. Emergency situations will not be attended to. So it is not her fault, or it's not anybody's fault for closing from work late, or going to work late, or going to work early hours of the day. But what the government need to do is all the offices, that is the different organizations of government, need to come together and have a plan.
Labor experts argued that the tragedy goes beyond a criminal act, raising questions about employer responsibility in a high-risk security environment. They note that under existing labor laws, employers owe workers a duty of care, a responsibility that does not end when the workday closes.
If there's way they can organize a special vehicle for them from their working place, that will be taking them home, or they should make it that within so duration of time should be the time they should be spending, because they are mothers having children at home and husband they need to attend to. Working late is very dangerous for them and it's a hazard.
Meanwhile, the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives Federal Health Institution sector has called for investigations and improved security, but many Nigerians insist that post-incident investigations are not enough. In a press statement, the National Secretary, Enya Osinachi, condemned the murder and called for urgent measures to protect nurses amid rising insecurity nationwide.
Different organizations has their own schedule of time. I get to my brother. So if anybody is doing night shifts, should be from maybe in the evening, 5 o'clock till the next morning. Instead of working and closing around 11, 12, that's so much. I get to my brother.
Until then, the question remains, how many more women must pay with their lives before safety becomes a priority? Anie Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Dr. Olugbemisola Odusote as the Director General of the Nigerian Law School, making her the first woman to lead the institution since its establishment in 1962. In a congratulatory message, the Nigerian Bar Association Women Forum described the development as a historic milestone for legal education in Nigeria. The statement issued and signed by the chairperson of the forum, Huwaila Muhammad, said the appointment represents a significant win for women at the bar and in the legal profession at large. Now, some police officers have reiterated their call on the Nigerian police force to obey the judgment of the National Industrial Court, which ordered their reinstatement after alleged forceful retirement. The aggrieved retired officers who were members of the courses 33, 34 and 35 force of the police entrant of the police academy had earlier approached the National Industrial Court to challenge their compulsory retirement from the force when they are yet to reach the mandatory age of 35. The court, presided by Justice Oyewumi Oyebiola, ordered the Inspector General of Police, the Police Service Commission, and the Force Secretary to the police to reinstate the officers. The court also reinstated the defendant, the Inspector General of Police, the Police Service Commission, and the Force Secretary from retiring the officers compulsorily. And now to weather matters, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET has predicted haze and sunshine from today to Friday across the country. NIMET's weather outlook, released in Abuja, envisaged sunny and hazy skies over the northern region throughout the forecast period. It anticipated sunny skies over the southern region with patches of cloud over the region and chances of isolated thunderstorms accompanied with light rains over parts of Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom and Cross River later in the day. And now to security matters. Suspected bandits have attacked the National Park Service office in Orire local government area of Oyo State on Tuesday. The attack occurred around 9 p.m. where several officers were reportedly killed or injured during the incident. Further details, including the exact number of casualties, are yet to be confirmed. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Olayinka Ayanlade, was said to have confirmed the incident. You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, Disco's revenue rises as federal government pay 458.75 billion naira electricity subsidies in 3 months. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break, and now to business news, where electricity distribution companies, also known as DISCOs, posted measurable operational gains with tariff collection efficiency rising to 80.7%, up from 4.63% in the third quarter of 2025. The increase in revenue signals gradual improvement in revenue recovery amidst non-cost reflective tariffs, according to the latest data released by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. According to the report, despite the introduction of the Ban A tariff regime, government subsidies remained a critical lifeline for electricity value chain, accounting for 58.63% of total GENCO's invoice in the third quarter. Still talking business, the federal government has inaugurated a joint implementation committee to plan a national digital literacy conference and oversee the training and certification of 1 million Nigerians in digital and emerging skills. The committee said it has prepared the groundwork for Nigeria to attain 95% digital literacy by 2030. The committee was inaugurated in Abuja by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akome, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary General Service Office and the Office of the SGF, Ibrahim Kana, at the launch of the Clergy Wealth Digital Skills Nigeria Skill Up initiative. The Permanent Secretary said the initiative aligned with the federal government digital transformation agenda, the National Digital Economy Policy, and the Renewed Hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. And now to news making rounds on the foreign scene. The military government of Burkina Faso says it has successfully foiled a sophisticated plot to assassinate Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the country's transitional president, aimed at destabilizing the nation. In a late-night televised address, Security Minister Mahamadou Sana stated that the intelligence service intercepted the operations in its final stages. Our correspondent Zara Unasir has the details.
The plot, allegedly orchestrated by former interim leader Lieutenant Colonel Paul Hilary Senduago Damiba, who was ousted by Traoré in a 2022 coup, involved plans to kill the president, either by shooting him at a close range or using explosives at his residence after 11 p.m. local time on January 3rd. The scheme reportedly extended beyond the assassination, targeting key institutions, civilian figures, and a drone launch base to prevent foreign intervention.
Du pays. Cela allait se faire par une série d'assassinats ciblés des autorités civiles.
Sana also claimed that the operation received partial funding from neighboring Ivory Coast, including transfers to around 70 million francs, which is approximately $125. Damiba, currently in exile in Togo, has not responded to the accusations, nor has the government of Ivory Coast issued any comment. This marks yet another alleged coup attempt against Traoré, who has faced multiple threats since seizing power amid escalating jihadist insurgency. Zahra Unasir, reporting for Global TV.
Still on the foreign scene, Iran's top military commander, General Amir Hatami, has warned that Tehran will not remain silent in the face of a mounting threat from the United States and Israel, following their public support for anti-government protests sweeping across the country. Hatami said the Islamic Republic viewed the recent escalation in hostile rhetorics as a direct threat to its national sovereignty, and it will not tolerate its continuation without responding. The army chief, who commands Iran's regular military forces but is not the nation's most senior military officer, cautioned that Tehran's response would surpass its actions during the last June 12-day conflict with Israel. And now to Asia, where China has sharply criticized United States President Donald Trump's planned intervention in Venezuela's oil industry. It says the outrageous use of force against Venezuela by the United States and demand that the country should manage its oil resources according to the American First Principle constitute harassment, violate international law, and harm the rights of the Venezuelan people. China further says Venezuela has full sovereignty over its mineral resources and economic activities. China is a key ally of Venezuela and the largest buyer of the South American country's oil. And now to the exciting world of sports, where Algeria has qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations quarterfinals following a 1-0 victory over the Democratic Republic of Congo in Rabat at extra time. Algerian supporters held their breath for almost 2 hours until winger Adil Boulbina scored the goal that sealed their fate and sent Congo out of the tournament at the 119th minute. The move sent the mostly white and green grandstands into wild celebration. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Football Federation has confirmed that the Super Eagles will leave the city of Fez for Marrakesh on Thursday as preparations continue for their quarterfinals clash at the African Cup of Nations in Morocco. In a statement, the federation said the three-time champions will play Algeria in Saturday's quarterfinal duel, scheduled to kick off at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Still talking sports, referees and other match officials in the Nigeria Premier Football League have not been paid their indemnities for officiating in the top flight for about 11 match days, leading to growing discontent ahead of the second stanza of the 2025-2026 season. The Nigeria Professional Football League is currently on a mid-season break, and the payment to match referees, referee assessors, and match commissioners have stalled since match day 8. Some of the affected officials who pled anonymity disclosed that their basic allowances per match range from 60,000 naira to 90,000 naira, aside from hotel and transport allowances. That's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using @GlobalTV_NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.